Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about 4 tips for driving a lowered car. If your car is lowered, if it is slammed to the ground, it can look absolutely awesome, but it can also be a pain to drive. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you 4 useful tips that you can keep in mind when you are driving a lowered vehicle. Let's get right to it. Tip number 1. Avoid potholes and high-pitched driveways. So potholes and driveways with high pitches can be the absolute most horrible things that you can go over with a lowered car. Simply because you underestimate them. When you see a pothole, if you even see them, when you see them, you usually think that they're not that bad, and then you drive over it, and then boom, you'll hear a big scrape or clank at the bottom of your car. With driveways, you think that they're not that bad. You think that you can make it up the high-pitched driveway, and you start going up, and then you hear that legendary scraping sound, okay? So avoid them at all costs. If you see a pothole, dodge it, switch lanes. If you see a high-pitched driveway, don't go up it. It's literally that simple. Tip number 2, remember that your car is lowered. Always remember that your car is lowered, okay? It's easy to forget. When you're driving a lowered car, sometimes you just completely forget. You drive quickly over some sort of bump in the road, not even a pothole, but just an uneven spot in the road. And what happens is you get a legendary clank or scraping sound, all because you just for a moment forgot that your car was lowered. Now, as you know, going faster is not so good when you're driving a lowered car because things approach your car at a much faster speed. You don't have as much time to react. So with that being said, before you go fast when driving a lowered car, make sure that you know about the road, maybe that you've driven down it before. Make sure that you are aware of what is happening on the road, okay? That's one of the most useful pieces of advice that I can give you. Tip number 3, don't go all the way into parking spaces that have curb stops, okay? So basically, it's not a good idea when you're parking your car to go all the way into a parking space that has a curb stop at the front of it. Because if your car is lowered, you're most definitely going to scrape on the curb stop or just flat out hit the curb stop. And that can do some serious damage to the front of your bumper and the underside of your bumper. So don't go all the way in. Go far enough into the parking space to allow yourself to get in there and not be sticking out, but don't go in far enough. You don't need to go all the way in the parking space, okay? If your car is slammed, if it's lowered, it's likely not the length of a pickup truck, okay? So you more than likely can get away with going 80% into the parking space as opposed to all the way. Tip number 4, go easy and angled over speed bumps. Now, just like potholes and high-pitched driveways, speed bumps can be horrible for your lowered car, but you usually see speed bumps on the road and you know that they're there most of the time. With that being said, you should really go easy on speed bumps because they are not all created equally. Meaning some speed bumps may not have too much of a slope and others may have this monster slope and this monster peak. So treat all speed bumps as if they have this monster slope and this monster peak, and then you are less likely to scrape or damage your car in any way. That's basically it. Those are my top 4 tips for driving a lowered car. If you're driving a lowered car, let's face it, it can look amazing, but making the wrong moves can be a real pain. So hopefully you use these 4 tips to your advantage and you keep them in mind, and you will be less likely to damage your lowered car. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.